So, hello everyone, and welcome to Uncut Toastmasters. Today I have with me none other than Dr. Kevin Rubia. For those of you who have not had the chance to see or to meet him, I will shortly give him a chance to introduce himself. Dr. Rubia Karibu to Uncut. Please tell us a little bit about who you are.
Thank you, Mondi, and thank you for the invitation. Anchored has always been close to my heart, so it's always a pleasure to come back. Unfortunately, I hear there's no food this time round, but it's okay. I'll still enjoy myself. My name is Kevin Rubia. I'm a medical doctor by profession. I am studying clinical psychology as a master's student in the University of Nairobi, and mental health is particularly important for me. That's why I chose to go to that line of work. Apart from that, I am also a Toastmaster through and through. If you cut my blood, you'll just say Toastmasters. I've been in Toastmasters since 2020. We are now in 2023, yeah, 3 years now. I joined Downtown Toastmasters Club, which, fun fact, is the mother club, if I can say so, of Anchored Toastmasters. That's why it's also very dear to me. And since joining Toastmasters, I've been a sergeant at arms and a club president, also an area director, and I'm currently the division D director. Also, last year, I don't know how, but I won the Outstanding Toastmaster of the Year award, which is a pretty good thing. I might say. I'm excited. That's why I love Toastmasters that much. I also am a network marketing professional. For those who do not know, that's something else that I'd like to share. That's me in a nutshell.
That's really awesome. You must teach some of us who are only getting by with 24 hours in a day. It seems like for all those things, maybe you need like 48 hours in a day. But that's an incredible feat of responsibility, which is an
Thank
interesting segue for sure, which is an interesting segue for me to the subject of mental health. And men have often been really pushed to accommodate a breadth of responsibility. Of course, with time going by, the level of responsibility is split across genders, but for the longest time, men have bore the breadth of a lot of responsibility. And you have mentioned some of your own. How are you able to tackle all those things, particularly within the context of still staying productive, still staying healthy, still juggling all these different responsibilities that you have?
Good question, and it's true. We have a lot as men to deal with. I've given an example of myself, and for me, the main thing has been support because I've also had my mental health struggles during med school and after med school. I think support is something that we cannot understate as men, and it may unfortunately appear as weakness, especially when a man may not be in a position to voice his struggles, or when he does, it sounds as if he's not able to pambana or to confront whatever he's going through. I feel as men, we need to know our limits. Actually, as human beings, we need to know our limits and to know when to ask for help. When I was in med school in my fourth year, I went through a crisis of sorts because I felt that I didn't want to practice medicine. I think that was the major stressor for me. And I just got into a depression because I'm the person who sees the bigger picture. If something that I see does not really fit into the bigger picture, yet I'm doing it and I feel like I don't have a way out of it, that's when I just went crazy. How will I navigate finishing med school and will I continue practicing? So that was the hurdle for me at that particular point in my fourth year of medicine. Luckily, through support from parents, seeking professional help through psychiatrist and a psychologist, I'm here today. One other thing apart from support that I've mentioned is having having something to make you happy. A hobby, for instance. For me, it's Toastmasters. Toastmasters just gives me life. Also enjoy long walks. I'm not a book a fanatic, contrary to popular belief. Don't ask me which book I'm reading. So it's more of also finding what works for you, especially when you're low. Support in terms of physical or people, friends, family, God, if you believe in a spiritual being like him, and support in terms of activities you need to do. Especially as a man, we are very we we need things. We are practical people. So things like sports have been proven scientifically to increase our feel good hormones, the endorphins, so that we are able to tackle anything that we particularly find stressful. So support, I would say, and good hobbies that help you become a bit more productive are a good way to balance. But challenges will still face anyone, whether you have mental health problems or not. The issue is how to tackle them. And I think these two have helped me and continue to help people through and through.
That's awesome. I think something else that I was very keen to raise with you was what would be your response to a lot of people who feel discussing men's mental health or men's issues comes at the expense of women's issues? And also vice versa. There are many people who feel discussing women's issues and women's empowerment comes at the cost or at the price of men's issues. What would you say to that opinion?
I think the first thing, and I like that you've raised that, I think the first thing is we are all human beings. At the end of the day, when we empower a woman, when we empower a man or a child for that matter, we are all contributing into the same pot, a pot of vitality that will help the society at large, not just the family. So I think even let me begin with women empowerment was to not necessarily help women become better than men, but for them to feel that they are seen and heard and that they are human. Because it came to a point that men looked as if they were of a better breed, higher breed than women, and women needed that at least stepping stone to get better jobs, for example. Now, when it comes to men, however, I think the whole idea was men were already empowered to begin with. Being a man sometimes is even seen as having an advantage as opposed to being a woman. An example being women have to go through that time of the month every month, and men don't have to even think about that themselves. But that's a story for another day. Back to empowerment. I feel, this is a personal opinion, that empowerment is something that you have to do hand in hand, so much so that a particular gender, in this case men, are not left behind. I'll give an example of being in med school. Before before even these 2000s, majority of the people were male joining medical school. And that narrative needed to change because women also needed to see that they could be doctors. It's not just a male dominated field. As we speak, majority of the applicants are women. Not that women are more empowered. I just feel even among our classmates that we still need male voices. Not to say that now we work on male empowerment and stop empowering women, just that women also need to, for example, marry empowered men. Many people ended up marrying our classmates. I'm still looking for which classmate to marry, but without women also need strong men, and I feel many ladies listening to this could agree to this, that at the end of the day, yes, I'm empowered, but how, who will I settle with should I want to marry? And that therefore says that we cannot ignore either. What then is the solution? I think it's all about the family, the home setting, how a father treats his wife and his children, both male and female, same to the mother. I think if from the word go, a boy, once he grows up, knows that he has equal dignity to his sisters and brothers, and likewise for the lady or growing up girl. And a father knows how to show love to his children, because also men who do not receive this love or do not have this male figure to learn from will learn from what they see or hear. So the role of the father is particularly important for male empowerment. And that cannot, whether we put it in the curriculum, that cannot be really replaced. So I feel also with the advent of single motherhood, which is still good and which still produces strong men and women, I feel sometimes men who do not have a role model, in this case, a proper father figure to look up to, may end up disempowered in whatever way, be it financially, be it even mentally or socially, or how they think growing up. So I hope that answers your question. In yeah, I hope that answers your question.
It does. It does. And also,
Mm.
we have about 5 minutes left, but let me squeeze in one last question or two last questions. The first of those is, as a fellow Toastmaster, often with meetings and the theme, and on account of there's so many things that happen within a Toastmasters meeting, such that it can be very difficult to, in 2 hours or 1.5 hours, really disseminate the issue of men's mental health, or many other issues that Toastmasters of the day try and accomplish within that time. For anyone who may not have the chance to be there on Friday, what would you what would your parting shot be, both on the topic of men's issues, and also generally on the topic of Toastmasters, and especially how Toastmasters can be such a platform to discuss real issues that not just men are going through, but every human being is going through.
Toastmasters is a platform for you and I to share real stories. It's not just a place to have fun, get spouses, which is good, but to speak about important things. 2 hours, as you have rightfully put, is not enough to encapsulate what needs to be talked about. For those who are not able to attend this particular meeting, which is themed The Man, the Myth, the Legend, where between the man and the myth there is a hyphen as opposed to a comma, which will be explained. Please come to the meeting to find out why. We, I just want to say we are in this together. Mental health, no, November is the month for men's health awareness, be it mental, or physical health. Let us try as much as possible to dig deeper within ourselves as men, as women, to see what issues we are going through, because what I feel or what I'm learning, even as I continue with clinical psychology, is that we do not have time to reflect as such. And at the end of the day, that's when we end up with not only mental issues, mental health issues, or mental health conditions, but physical health problems, diabetes, hypertension, lifestyle diseases. Have some time to reflect and see how you're living your life. See how you'd like to live and find ways to bridge that gap. It may mean going for long walks, going to a gym, reading a book to take you to your next maybe financial stage, be it, let's say, financial freedom. Try to first understand yourself because there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of things happening. Sit down with yourself, see what where you are and where you want to be, and try to bridge the gap. That may mean Toastmasters, for example, if it's public speaking, or seeking help if you don't know what the next help is. For mental health, seek, just Google clinical psychologist or counselor, or go to Madare, which is, by the way, a wonderful place to receive therapy and psychiatric support. That is something I'd like to what's the word, to remove the stigma around Madare. It's a wonderful place. So people should see therapists or clinical psychologists or psychiatrists if they need mental health help. Yes.
That is fantastic. We are just about to close with some 15 seconds. But once more, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for also using your own personal experience to the benefit of many, many other people who would not have the chance otherwise to access the sort of resources that you will share with us. And finally, looking forward to sitting down in the meeting on Friday and listening to some of more of your wisdom and indeed the other speakers and rotators who will be there. So once more, thank you very much, Dr. Rubia, and I will make sure that we give you some food the next time you're at.
Great. I look forward to that. And women also welcome to the meeting, of course, including pets. Pets are also welcome. So it's okay. I'm also looking forward to learning a lot because sometimes we think as mental health professionals we know it all. No, we don't. Thanks for this opportunity.
You're very welcome.